What's up, guys? Welcome to Spin City Podcast, your all access pass to the world of professional table tennis. My name is Ibrahima Diaw, and today I'm hosting this show with me, hermanos, Marcos Madrid. What's up, Marcos?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Iba. I'm very happy to be here again with Spin City Podcast. So we have one very special guest that I want to introduce you. He is one of the strongest man in the circuit with the best, one of the best forehand in the world, we can say. Amazing power, legs, the African king we have here, Quadri Aruna. So
Good
thank you,
evening.
Quadri.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy and excited to be here. And I'm looking forward to have fun with everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Quadri. So I will introduce you a little bit for the players, for the people who don't know you very well. So your highest ranking was number 10 in the world in 2022, Olympian already 4 times, 2012, 2016 in Rio, Tokyo, and the last in Paris. So already amazing. First African player to reach quarterfinals in Olympic Games is quite amazing. Also a special ITTF Star Award winner with amazing points in the World Cup. And a lot of times, I don't know how many times you are African champion.
Too many
so
times.
Thank you very much again to be here. So Iba, we can start for the first question.
Yes, man. So first of all, we are very happy to have you here. Honestly, like when I started this podcast project, I always wanted to have you here, because you are definitely one of actually the key players, in the world. And a lot of people really look so much, about you, and especially the trajectory that you had, as an athlete and coming from Nigeria. So we have a lot of questions, to be honest. We have a lot of things to ask you. And of course, if you have questions, also feel free to ask. But first of all, man, where do you come from, actually? Like, which part of Nigeria do you come from?
Thank you so much. I'm from a city called Oyo in Nigeria. It is about 3.5 hours drive from Lagos.
Okay. And how did you come up with table tennis?
Years ago, then we all used to play on the street, and it just started like we were on the street, and we had no table tennis board. We just draw line on the floor, to separate ourselves. One line is like for the net.
Yeah.
The other one, like to create something, we improvise. And the table tennis balls, then we have a lot of locally made table tennis balls from Nigeria. We got some easily, and we didn't have money to buy rackets. So we used to play with the roofing sheet, the one they call asbestos. And that was how I started.
That's crazy, man. So did you just saw people in the street play, and then you say, okay, I will just come and play with them?
Yeah, just like everyone is playing football on the street, it was actually almost the same way, People just find something to improvise and, to make goalposts. They also draw lines, and that was how it started. And I was 7 years old then when I started. But of course, I didn't play a lot on the street. Before I was taken to the hall, I was really lucky. Someone who has a table tennis hall, a table tennis center in my hometown, saw me playing on the street. Then he took me directly to the hall. And that was how I started finally playing indoor table tennis.
That's crazy. And at what age did you start playing indoor table tennis?
I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old.
So you were directly to streets to the one hole?
Yes, luckily then,
Yeah,
our house was like 400 meters to table tennis hall. So it was so easy for me to go from home to the table tennis hall, meet this man, and he started practicing with me directly.
What's the name of this?
Oluwole Abolarin is one of the teachers in my hometown.
Wow, that's crazy. And you mean teacher in table tennis, right? Like
No, he's a teacher in school in my hometown.
Oh, okay.
Well, why he was in university studying, after he trained me for like 3 or 4 years, he decided me to put me in charge of the hall.
Okay.
And that actually motivated me. I was taking care of the hall for him. People who wants to play, they used to pay some money and play. And this was part of the money this man was able to use to finish his school.
Okay.
So, he helped me a lot. Then I was also of help to him to take care of the hall because he already trained me. I was already able to play. I have small idea, about to manage the hall. And that was how things went for both of us. But of course, we still keep in touch. He's following. He has knowledge still about the game. He's still very crazy about the sport of table tennis. He's watching everything.
Must be. Oh, wow, that's actually a crazy story. And then after at some point, when did you start that? Okay, now I'm playing good. Did you start to move to Lagos and start to play, or you actually stay in your hometown until you move to Europe?
When I was 12 years old, I remember very well, we went for a tournament in Lagos. I went there as a cadet. I think then it was 2000 or year 2001. I couldn't remember very well. That was my first ever table tennis tournament as a cadet.
Wow.
And surprisingly, I beat everyone. I was champion. And somehow the coaches from the main city, they started coming to my hometown.
Okay.
Because in our city we have sub-regions.
Yes.
So we have where we have like the sport ministry. So the main coaches from the sport ministry, when they realize there is someone, KD player in my hometown, they started coming there to play with us, probably like two times in a week. And it means it will get better and better. It gets better and better. Then it means I had better coaches, and somehow it was a tournament like Nigerian games. They invited me to play trials, and surprisingly, I qualified to represent my city as well. And that was like 2004. It was all Nigerian senior games. I did not actually qualify to be in the main team. I think I was number 7, but they encouraged me. They took out number 6 and 7. They took out number 5 and 6. Then they put me.
Okay.
So I didn't play anything in the team event. They played team event for like 3 or 4 days. I was always on the bench supporting the players. In doubles, I was not selected. In mixed doubles, I was not also selected. So I went like for to gain experience. And they put me to play in singles. And surprisingly, I got to semi-final in singles. And that was my first ever senior tournament.
Wow.
So immediately after that, I got invited to Nigeria training camps. So several training camps, I was there with the seniors, with the juniors, and that was how things actually started.
Okay, so all the time actually you were just traveling back and forth to national team camps, or the coaches was coming to your hometown. So you actually had all the time a very good base in your hometown and playing table tennis.
Yeah.
Okay, makes
Nice.
sense. And the thing is, in Nigeria, they're like table tennis was famous, because like it's not often that you see. Normally, you see like big famous sport in the street. So table tennis was famous in Nigeria.
Yes, table tennis used to be really, really famous. I don't know if you have heard about one of the players before. His name is Atoda Musa.
Yes.
Yes.
According to the history, when they were playing, people prefer to watch table tennis than to go and watch football and athletics.
Yeah.
So the hall was always full, he was super famous. And immediately he left was Shegun Toriola. Still very famous, Shegun won a lot of titles.
Very big.
Shegun was super famous as well. So table tennis really used to be very, very famous and popular.
Yes.
And still one of the most famous sports in Nigeria till now.
Even now, yes.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, that's good. But I can relate because Marcos, did you play WTT in Nigeria yet? No.
No, I never have the opportunity to play, but I can tell always the atmosphere, the kids, everyone is enjoying a lot.
Yes.
Like I think my sister went there with Salvador some years ago, and the atmosphere looks like a really like a small stadium, like
Yes.
on fire. Huh?
Trust me, I play Aruna there. I play Aruna there. And then I remember you put me in the corner where it was very hot because you were afraid of me. You say put me in the corner. It was crazy match actually.
Many years ago, a very high priority was given to the sport of table tennis in Nigeria.
Okay.
They used to attend several international camps, several international tournaments, and year after year, things start to get worse and worse.
Okay.
But with the support of some guys like Wahid Enitan Oshodi, things are coming back slow and steadily. And hopefully it will get better and better. Seriously, with the way things are going, I really don't have the belief that it will get better and better. It always takes decades for us to have, after we have one great player, it always takes decades to have another one. Like it took Toriola to be on the same level like Atonda Toriola, Atonda Musa. Then after Toriola, it was so long again to have another good player. And somehow it will even be much more difficult because now there is absolutely zero support from the federal government to the federation. So they don't pay nothing, and if you don't pay nothing, you can practice and practice without tournament. Then nothing will come out of it. And some of the players are not so opportune to have clubs in Europe who they can earn very good salary and reinvest. So I think it's very difficult if things keep going the same way. I mean, if government is not giving some kind of priority financially to sport of table tennis. But I believe if government give a lot of priority financial support, we have much more better players than me, than Toriola and Atonda Musa.
And you think that at that time, this is what all the time helped, for example, to have one player like Musa or Toyola or you, is because actually you had way more support at that time from the ministry or the federation?
Yes. You know why growing up as a cadet, we were playing tournament minimum every 2 weeks. So we play a lot of tournament.
Okay.
And after there was once in a while going to international tournament, they sponsor, But these days it's not the same. Probably they don't even have 6 tournaments in a year.
Oh, okay.
And this was the routine for the likes of Toriola, Monde, Atonda Musa to be very, very good. You play against them before. You were with them.
For sure,
You
I
could
played
see
4
they
years with
were
them.
so good, like Monde.
So good. Very good.
So,
very
they
good.
have like very good basics, very good foundation.
Yes.
And the rest of us, we were not as good as them, technically, if
Yes.
you remember very well
Yes.
how they were playing.
Yes.
Because,
Yes, it's true.
things started to be not so good.
Okay.
And I really hope if we can return to those days.
Okay. Yes. And actually, it's good that you mentioned Europe because when did you move to Europe?
I moved to Europe in the year 2010.
2010, and it was in Portugal, if I remember. That was
Yes, I came to Portugal.
yes. Okay. And why Portugal? How this move to Europe came up?
It was a tournament in 2009 World Team Cup. We played against Germany, and I was luckily to be one of the selected players. So I played against Patrick Baum and Steven Mengel.
Okay.
Immediately after these 2 matches, someone from Portugal had injured. His name is Tiago Fontes. He contacted me directly. And that was how I got a club to play in Portugal.
Okay. What was your first club?
The name is AR Novelense, Atletico Recreativa Novelense. It's about 40 minutes from Porto City.
Okay.
How many years you stay in this club?
I played just 1 year there.
Okay. So after you changed to a bigger club?
No, not really a bigger club. A club in one of the islands in Portugal, Azores Island. I think the biggest
Yes,
in
Azores. I
Portugal
went there.
is Sporting Club de Portugal.
Okay.
So I actually spent 4 years in Azores.
Okay. Yes.
I played under a coach called Alexandre Gomez.
Okay.
Life was really hard under him because he's an hard worker. We worked tirelessly. And immediately he left the club, I started improving.
Okay.
So I think he is one of the best coaches I've ever worked with.
Okay. How was the practice there? Tell me how
It was very good. We have me, we have Andre Silva, we have Diogo Silva,
Yes.
we have Sas Lassan. There was really nothing to do then. You play table tennis, you sleep, you eat, you return to table tennis. So the focus was really high. So we practiced really a lot. We worked tirelessly there.
Okay. Yes. I mean, do you think that actually for young players, this is something that any players must have? Is actually a period where you kill yourself at the practice?
I think from 20 to about 35, or from 18 or 16 to about 25, you really need to practice tirelessly.
Okay.
Because this is the age when you have a lot of power, a lot of energy to practice really a lot. When you are 26 to 30 upward, it's really difficult. You won't be able to practice a lot anymore. What you can really do to really get compensated is just to do a lot of gym and reduce the practice. And this is what I feel. I don't know for other players because right now when I practice morning, evening, I go to the match, I'm playing like very, very bad.
Yeah.
But if I practice just once and go to the gym, like for the second practice, I'm always doing much more better in the match. I
Okay.
hardly get tired. But when I go morning and afternoon, I go to
Okay.
the match, I don't have so much power to play.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But
So
the players, this is just my opinion.
Yeah, makes sense. But the thing is that also we can relate to that. I mean, Marcos, you are 38?
38 now.
38, yes. Me, 32, and same. Like, I definitely reduce my amount of practice. And the thing is, I don't feel like my level is going down. Like, I just feel like practice smarter. I know exactly what to do, and I actually try to take care of my body. So I think I can relate to that.
Yeah, I think maybe more the sport is becoming more. We need to be more strong, I will say, because the ball we really need to get fit, to have this power. Maybe before with the spin, not so much. We can control. We make good service, spin slowly. They try to control, but now if you don't have power, it's almost done.
Yes. And
I agree. Yeah.
with the amount of traveling,
Yeah.
it's
Correct.
really difficult to just play table tennis.
Correct.
Your body
sure.
will be really dead.
Correct.
Yeah, crazy. So I would like to say that I can tell that you have very fast career in the beginning. You were winning very early, like very young. You were also in the national team very young. So we want to know what about this your first men's World Cup. First, why you were there in the beginning, like your first World Cup, how you qualify, uh, how we can find you there.
It was a, let me say, unforgettable memory. It was 2009 in Morocco, city of Rabat. I think Toriola was the defending champion, and for that reason, Nigeria were able to be represented by three players.
3 plays, okay.
I was actually not selected. It was Toriola and Sheon Ajetumobi, and Nigeria only sponsored two of them. But then it was the African Club Championships as well. So also in this club I represented in Morocco, I was not actually part of this club.
Okay.
I was in another team. They were like borrowed me from my team to go with this club. Then I was Nigerian number one among the home-based players, among the players who were in Nigeria. I was number one. So they borrowed me to represent this club. The club name is Union Bank of Nigeria.
Union Bank.
Yes. So this club only took me to Morocco to play for the club in club championships. And because Toriola was the defending champion, Nigeria were allowed to be represented by three players. So being the best player among the home-based players in Nigeria, they put me to be number 3. And surprisingly, I won the African Seniors Cup. And
Crazy.
On my way also to win, it was really funny because I actually played under 21 earlier. There was also under 21 championships, African championships. I lost against Said Idowu. I beat Omar. I beat Saleh. I beat almost all the players in Egypt. But I also lost against Khalid Assar.
Yes.
But surprisingly, I won the African Senior Cup as a junior player.
Crazy.
And, I got really crazy. It was so strange, It was big surprise to almost everyone.
You remember the
was
match, the last moment?
Yes, and that was how I was selected to represent Africa in World Cup in Moscow, Russia.
Okay.
Then it was just only one player from each continent.
At that
Then
time,
it was just one. Then the players from Africa were not really ranked internationally. So then it was just only the champion that is going.
Crazy.
Crazy. And then you played this World Cup. I think it was which World Cup? It was World Cup 2024.
So after 2009, I didn't win any title in Africa for like 5 years.
Yes, okay.
It was only in 2014 I won again.
Yes.
And that
you won
was in
again.
Lagos.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I won in Lagos.
And then
I got selected again to represent Africa in World Cup in Dusseldorf.
yes.
And that was where I was number 3 in the group. I beat Shibai from Russia.
Yes, I remember.
I
this
beat
match.
Matsudara Kenta from Japan. Then in the round of 16, I beat Tang Peng from Hong Kong. The
Yes,
quarterfinal, I played against Zhang Jike.
Zhang Jike, which you lost.
I think it was 4-1 or something.
For-
I can't really remember
yeah.
very well.
And this is actually where little bit the world little bit discover Aruna Quadri at that time. It was like
I think so. I think
because
so.
because the thing is that me, the first time that I saw you, Aruna, it was in German Open in 2010. You know, there was this Adidas tables. This is
Yes,
this
yes.
is the first time I saw you, I remember. And
I
then
think it was with Toriola and Monday then.
I was with Toriola and
Right.
Monday,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
And
I
then
remember very
and
well.
then after 40 years after, I just look and I was like, wait, what? I saw you play against Zhang Jike, and I was like, what the hell? Like, after 4 years, this guy is playing like against top players and winning against top players. And the thing is that what's happened during this tournament? What kind of breakthrough in your mind did you had at that time? You know, what changed?
You know, then it was so easy and very, very cheap. Let me say super cheap to play in tournaments. Like you said, you knew very well to go to German Open, you just need to buy train ticket.
Yeah.
Probably 80 euros or 100 euros.
Yes.
And you need to give 150 euros.
Correct.
To the organizer. Then you sleep in one hotel for 30 euros.
Correct.
You can you can even pay for 5 nights. And then you don't even care when you lose.
Correct.
So I was able to play a lot of tournaments. Probably I was playing like 10 minimum in a year because it was not expensive.
Okay, so you were playing actually a lot of ITTF tournament before.
Yes, you remember you said you saw me in Germany. From Germany, I go to Spain. You know, it was always German Open, Spanish Open, I think Challenge or something. You know, it was always like every month or every 2 weeks tournament. And I was always paying only the accreditation. I was fortunate to have support of Wide.
Yes.
You know, I got salary from Portugal. If I have to spend 800 euros in a tournament, Wide is always giving me 400 euros.
Wide? Who's Wide?
Is now the president of African Table Tennis Federation.
Okay.
So this guy really supported me a lot. So I was almost everywhere. And I can say that playing a lot of tournament actually made me improve very fast. But really now it is almost impossible, like we all know. To play a tournament now, you need minimum of $1,500.
Yeah.
So that is the only thing I can really say. And I think ever since then, we really don't have, you know, so many players from Africa, and we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of players in Egypt, so many good players. Even Tunisia, Algeria, we have a lot of them. But it is really expensive to go and play tournaments.
Correct.
I think if it is really the same, probably Iba will also play 15 tournaments now.
For sure.
Because then, if you remember very well, we always play China Open in Shenzhen, Hong Kong Open, we go by bus.
Correct. I remember.
Then immediately we go to Japan. You only pay accreditation.
Yes.
And it is really, really cheap to play. Even when you lose, you are always motivated to go to another one because it's not expensive. Now you cannot do that.
No, you cannot. Correct.
So now I think it's going to be very difficult for a lot of players in Africa to grow. They will practice, but they won't be able to play tournaments financially.
So that's the thing actually, is that for you to be able to play tournament after tournament, this is the thing that give you the confidence. So basically you were just, your training was almost, you practice so much as a young age, and then at one moment you say, okay, now I go to play all the tournaments, and you give yourself a lot of years, and this is what makes you now, Aruna Quadri, one of the best players in the world. Something
like that. You know, I lost a lot of games.
Yes.
But you know, while losing, I was never spending a lot. You know, it's like I spent 500 euros to play in Germany, 150 euros to accreditation, maybe 150 euros. You know, I can eat in McDonald's. I can eat something very cheap. But you know, you lose, but you don't feel really, really sad because you know next week you go to another one with another cheap money.
Correct.
Now, if you lose in first round with $1,500, you want to cry.
Yes, this is true.
You cry.
It's totally different.
You cry.
You know, somehow they have really come to destroy the sport for us.
No, but the
sport is now for the rich people. It's not for someone like us from Africa.
No, but
it's going to be difficult to get strong players. Now in Egypt you have a lot of good players.
Yes.
In Nigeria you have players. In Tunisia you have players. How many of them are playing international tournaments?
Yeah, not so much now. I mean, it's
now,
very
how
difficult.
would they...
It's very difficult. Yes, I actually agree, because now, I mean, now we have a lot of actually players from France that actually going to play now, you know, in Africa and this, and me including. And actually, it's very difficult to spend that much money. Like I remember when we were fighting for Tokyo, it was not as expensive as it is now. So it's actually very, very difficult. And now we see actually a lot of Asians that are playing tournaments. So yeah, no, it's definitely more difficult now. And it is actually good to know that, because the thing is that when I play against you, Aruna, I feel like you are improving during the match, you know, because like, for example, when I play you, for example, I know that you don't like so much to flick with forehand. You don't like. And the thing is that then I come and I serve top spin to your forehand, And then at one moment, you start to flick with forehand. And I say, but where did you learn this? Like, I mean, did you go practice during the set or whatever? And then,
find solutions.
And the thing is that somehow you improve during the match. And I feel like when, for example, someone say, how I play against Aruna, I say, this guy, he has one weakness, but he improved during the match. And the thing is that, what do you think at that time? Because me, I feel you are a specialist of match, really.
I think it's very important for me. From the beginning, I get really nervous.
Okay.
Then after a few points, you just have to do it. If you don't try to change or do something different, you will definitely lose. So from the beginning, I'm always nervous. But after I just have to do something, even if I have to lose. Even if I'm going to lose, I still have to try my best.
Okay.
I have to try different things. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will never work. But of course, when it's working, it's good. When it's not working, so I think it's very important for me to take risk. So why taking risk? Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working.
Okay. And Marcos?
Yeah, I will say that you say that you are taking risk. I wanted to remember in Olympics in Rio. I suppose you take a lot of risk.
Of course.
This how you were feeling. You were just living the moment, just sending some rockets with your forehand. From outside, I feel it like this. You were just enjoying playing, taking risk, no fear of losing. But what were you feeling in your head? What was happening?
The story of Rio was really crazy. It was a very difficult draw for me.
Yeah, I know.
Against Timo, I never win, probably 7 times before. We played a tournament in Germany then. It was like 1 week. We travel city to city. I never win a set against him.
Crazy.
Against Wang Yang, I lost like 3 times before. And Chuan Qingyuan, if you remember
Yes,
very
that's
well,
right.
there was a German Open in that year. I lost against Chuan Qingyuan 4-0 like in 12 minutes. It was so fast.
Wow.
People in the hall were just laughing. And if you see these 3 players, I never win against them. And I beat 3 of them in Olympic Games. So I don't know if you want to agree or not. Sport is about moments.
Correct.
When your moment comes, nothing can stop you.
Correct. But
You can practice.
when did you feel
tirelessly.
when did you feel it was your moment?
When
Did you?
I was just playing.
You were
I
just
was just playing. I have
Yes.
Toriola there. I have the other guys there. They were supporting and supporting. I just played and play. Like I said, it was my moment. And when that moment comes, nothing can really stop you.
So you
So
okay?
I was just doing my thing, against Wang Yang. Wang Yang was the first match. I think I spoke with Geraldo. Geraldo gave me tactics against him.
Okay.
And those tactics really, really work amazingly. So I
Okay.
beat Wang Yang. It was Chuan Qingyuan, a very strong player, highly experienced. I step around a lot of time.
But how? Like honestly, like Schwan is someone that's so fast with backhand, like he play backhand. But how do you have the time to step
It
around?
was really unbelievable. It was like giving long, block 1 or 2, step around, and everything was working in my favor.
Yes.
But, in rally, he was never winning a point.
This is crazy. He's one of the best players in the rally. He's one of the best players from both sides.
I won 4-0 against him.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yes.
And Timo is really, really, really special.
This is first time
Probably
you play Timo?
it started really bad, Timo. He was too relaxed. Someone you beat 7 times in 1 week.
Yes. Okay. yes.
Then he was probably sleeping from the beginning. Then it was like maybe 3-1 or 3-0 for me before he started to play. I almost lose against Timo. And that was the only time I won against him. After I never win again,
Yeah.
probably 3 or 4 times after I lost.
After, yeah.
So it was probably 3-0 or something. Timo came to 3-2. He actually understood the game and he worked everything out again. Then, of course, I was very lucky to win 3-2 because 2, it was 11-9 or 12-10.
Okay.
To be 4-2 for me.
Okay.
So I think I was just doing my thing. I was never cared too much. But of course, it was really my moment. It was really my
So
moment.
you felt that it was your moment and you were just going for it.
And we practiced only in Nigeria, We didn't do anything in Europe. We practiced only in Nigeria. The other Olympics, we were outside of Nigeria practicing. I didn't go past second round. So I think it was just my moment then.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your moment with hard work.
Something like that.
And then like after that, I mean, also like from the World Cup in 2014 and the Olympics. And then of course, like, you come from, a place where, money is very difficult, and then you fought your way back. I'd say you invest yourself. At what time, when things, you felt things start to change, that, you are definitely becoming now a star. You are starting to get money, and your life changed a little bit, like from
immediately after that World Cup in Düsseldorf of 2014. Everything
changed
for me positively. I started to be getting offers from Bundesliga, from French league.
Okay.
Don't forget, in 2015 I started playing in French league. I played against Marcos before in Pro A.
Yes,
So,
yes, true.
immediately after that World Cup, I started getting, to play on better teams, better league. And since then, things keep going and going.
And how did you handle? You just stay the same guy, I know you're a family guy. You still live in Portugal. You just stay the same, do the same work, the same thing, and then just, try just to actually live almost your best life in table tennis, and, try to collect some money from you, maybe help a little bit in Nigeria. And how?
Yeah, after 2014, I started to get more money.
Yes.
Then 2015, I started playing also in Sporting. It was a Chinese coach. I also learned a lot from him. I started to be traveling more and more money. My life changed positively. Then from there, I knew I have to do something also in Nigeria. I have to support a lot of players. On several occasions, I was going home with equipment,
Okay.
probably from some players, probably someone like you, someone like Marcos. Anything I get, I take it home, because I knew how it was difficult to have money to buy equipment.
Mm.
So I try as much as possible as well to support. And at the same time, I keep going in my career, keep doing the hard work, playing more and more tournaments. And, I think it's never stopped, and I really hope I can still continue for a few years.
Mm.
Yeah, looks really amazing. One question: do you have a club already? You have a club or academy?
I will play. You mean? Can you ask again so that I know how to answer?
I am not sure that if you have like a academy or a club. I mean
Yes,
yours, like
I
Quadri
and
Aruna.
I and my wife, we have an academy and club
Yes,
in
yeah.
Nigeria.
In Nigeria, okay.
Okay, Nigeria.
We have support from Yola.
Okay, nice.
So we are Yola distributor in Nigeria. We got some support from them. Some small support also from Tiba, because we are also like mini distributor for Tiba in Nigeria.
Okay.
And through the support we get from Tiba and the Yola, we were able to give equipment to some of the younger players. We support the younger players, and we select some of these players in the academy to represent us in the tournaments.
Nice.
So for me, I think it's very important also to give back
Yes.
to the society.
Nice. This is very nice. This is good to know, man. This is actually very, very good at what you do, for Africa. And actually, I want to come back to this topic. Actually, you started a little bit, and a little bit, what do you think the evolution of Africa, where Africa, right now is going? Is it going in a good direction, bad direction? And yes, like, the difference between before and after. I know that you explained a little bit, but I would like to go deeper into this conversation.
Okay. Things are so much more expensive now. The people in Africa, the federation, sorry to say, they are super corrupted.
Correct.
So it is zero support from federation, from government to the players. I am very sorry to say, if some people will be really affected. In Nigeria, I don't win €1. I don't get €1 to play WTT or ITTF Pro Tour. Similarly, it's the same for Omar Assar.
You and your sponsors, you is your own money?
Yes. Nigeria don't pay anything. World Championships, World Cup, they don't pay. On several occasions, we are buying tickets on our own. We never get refund. So, and that is only like when we play World Championships or African Championships or African Cup. The rest of the tournament, I am paying alone. Similarly, Omotayo, Mati, nobody's giving anything. Nobody give a shit about anybody. And I think it is almost the same thing. You were in Senegal before. You have to pay a lot of things by yourself. And I think if things really keep going like this, it will be very difficult. When players are not winning so much money from the club, where will they get money to play an expensive tournament like we have in WTT now? So I think probably in terms of training, many players will be able to practice in Africa, but they will never be able to to sponsor themselves to international tournament. So I think things are not going in the right way. I know very well how things are going in Egypt. The federation is super corrupt. They are owing ITTF a lot of money. The government is not giving money. They give already a lot of money. Some people stole it. It is the same situation in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I don't know in Nigeria, in Benin, I don't know. But if this is like this in Nigeria, Egypt, it's the same almost everywhere.
I mean, I can say that it's the same also
Yeah,
in
we
my
have
country.
a lot of talent. We have good players in Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt, Nigeria. We have almost everywhere. But if there is no money to play tournaments, you can practice for 50 years. Nobody will know you if you don't play internationally.
But this actually, it's actually so crazy because, you know, I mean, in Africa, and I mean, it's definitely the same in Latin America, is that you have actually 10 actually players that actually play a lot of tournament. You know, for example, in Africa, you have Aruna, you have Omar, you have me, you have Bulusa, you have Omotayo at some point who was investing a lot before when it was ITTF, and you have Egyptian. So we're actually playing a lot of tournament. And from what I hear right now is that Aruna, you become who you are by playing a lot of tournaments. And this normally should be the main thing for all the countries, is that let the young play tournament. This is the most important thing. Let them
It's
play
very
tournament.
important. Like, you practice for so many years in France. If you were never playing tournament, nobody will know you. They will only know you locally in France.
Yeah, correct.
And this is very important. Then if you don't play international tournament, you will never be able to get another club in Bundesliga or better clubs in France, or
Correct.
all over the world. It's very, very important.
Correct.
It is just simple thing to know.
Correct.
But the people in charge of it, they just care only to steal the money.
Correct.
You have your own story too. You understand this 100%.
I completely understand, and actually
And the
lived
way
it in a
things are
hard way.
going, I don't know. I don't want to say shit. But if the things keep going, like, for example, now Mati Taiwo is struggling a lot. He's spending his money. But still, it is still too much for him.
Yeah, I understand.
To go to play in Tunisia, maybe he need 1,200.
Yeah.
Before, he needed only $600 to play. So it means he can play 2 tournaments with $600. So maybe in France, I don't know how much is his salary.
Yeah,
You
but
think Mati will be able to play 1 tournament every month? It will be very difficult.
no chance.
No
He
chance.
also need to save money to pay some bills.
No
And
chance.
Nigeria is not paying anything. How will he survive? Omotayo stopped already because nobody was paying anything for him. He was paying envelopes, everything. He
Yeah.
took a lot of risk. And somehow, even if we win 1 or 2 matches, he's still at zero because prize money is zero.
Yeah.
So I don't think things are going very well for the Africans.
For the Africans.
Like you said, Latin Americans, I think some of them still have support. We have Horacio, we have Lorenzo, they're in Portugal here. I heard Federation is paying something for them, probably paying for the hotel. Nobody's paying anything for me.
Correct.
Nobody's paying anything for Omar. Nobody's paying anything to you. You even went to Senegal to support, to give them. Then they are fighting you.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is the same everywhere.
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Like I said, Waid was like paying 50% for me. Then I had so much motivation to keep going.
Yes.
Because then it was cheap, but somebody was still helping me. Now, who is going to help Omotayo? Who is going to help Mati?
No,
It's really hard. Barely from Egypt. Who is going to support him? Federation only want to pay for African tournaments, nothing more. We were in World Cup. They don't give a shit about anybody.
Crazy.
Mm.
That's
You have to pay your hotel. You have to pay your ticket, despite it is World Cup, a very big tournament.
Yes.
Then what do you think will happen in African tournament or something? Probably
Actually,
they make entries and nobody's coming.
Actually, how was the, because I because of this corruption thing, I couldn't play the 4 last tournament in Africa.
Yes.
And actually, how was the tournament, the whole and the organization and everything? How was there? How was it?
Okay, I think it was so bad to take a tournament to Ethiopia.
Yes,
Ethiopia.
The altitude was so high.
Yes, this is
It
true.
was so difficult. So tournament there was really, really zero. I don't know for other guys, but I think they complain in the same way.
Yes,
It was
correct.
so difficult. The organization
How high
was
was
so
it?
poor.
How high was it?
I think it was like 2,000 plus.
That's
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
think
Like
it
the
was like-
maximum I
yes.
played,
Like in
I think-
Mexico.
yeah.
Something like 2,000 plus, really.
Yeah, like I
And,
played in Kenya. It was 1,800, and it was
This
the ball
was like
was already
half of
flying.
Kenya.
Crazy.
In Kenya, when you play like 3 or 4 days, you start to get used to the environment.
Correct.
In Ethiopia, you will never, ever get used to the environment. I was there for 6 days. Then I decided to give up in the single event because I couldn't play. I
Yes.
could not play.
Yeah, it's other sport. I start playing in Mexico. My city is 2,100. So it's different sport. It's just
Yeah.
touching a little bit. The ball is flying.
And you're
If
tired
you
so
make
fast
one
also.
smash, you break the balls because they are going directly to the wall. It's different. Really other sport for me. And I start like this. So that's why I don't know make high balls because I never was 2 meters 2 meters back, because the ball was already 8 meters back when someone smashed, But yeah, it's interesting how in every continent is not easy about the economy and the system is getting really difficult for everyone. But yeah, if I would like to Like, what's the moment? What's in this moment? What's your position now in your career? What's next for you? What's happening with also the problems that you have with world table tennis? If you want to speak, or what's
about what table tennis I lost in court.
Okay.
So this is my conclusion. The judge is from ITTF Tribuna, and ITTF is almost the same. Like WTT, there is actually no difference. I started to
like
understand everything.
corruption, right?
Yes, there is really no difference because I think if we were to go to CAS, probably WTT will never win. So I think WTT and ITTF, they are almost the same. I also draw another conclusion. You remember very well last year, World Cup in Macau, almost everyone was complaining about the system of play,
Yes.
playing 4 sets.
Yeah.
And ITTF didn't change anything. We played in the same kind of system of play. So it means ITTF is also dictator.
Yes. True.
So I really think there is really no difference between ITTF and WTT. Please, can you remind me the other question?
Wait 1 second. I want to come back to this. You went to when you went to court, you went to ITTF Integrity?
It's ITTF Tribuna.
ITTF Tribuna, okay.
But of course, they said ITTF Tribuna is independent, but
No,
they
it's
are
not.
not independent.
It is not.
They
I
are
know.
not
It's
independent.
not.
Yes.
They decide based on what ITTF and WTT want.
I can vouch that because
And if you check very well, if I am not saying the wrong thing, ITTF is like 65% from the shares of WTT.
yes,
I
something
think
like
so. ITTF is the same like WTT. It is quite same organization.
Yeah.
Only changing name
Yeah,
to
but the
do
thing is
something
that
different.
ITTF owns WTT. Basically, you have
I think
ITTF
so.
there, and then
I think so.
and WTT is basically the like the pro tour kind of like they make the pro tours. But the thing is that still ITTF
The company.
that
Yeah.
owns.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So no, but actually, I mean, I didn't know. I just know, anytime actually I send you a message, to know about the court and this, and I actually didn't know.
This was
And
like 1 month ago. This was like one
okay,
month ago.
okay. So I'm very sorry to
No, it's fine. It's fine. You know, for me, I felt they were wrong to steal from me. This is stealing, indirect stealing.
Before you go to like what actually happened, like what was the story? Why did you went to court with them? If you can tell to the listeners.
I went to represent my club in Saudi Arabia, and it was the same date as WTT champions in South Korea, Incheon. Then I notified them 45 days before that I wouldn't be coming to play in Incheon because I have to represent my club. And I
Yes.
explained that if I didn't go to represent my club, I was going to be sacked. So I chose my club because WTT is not paying me salary. And I got 2 penalties because of that. One penalty was 2,500 because I play during WTT event, and I cancelled automatic direct entry event.
Yeah.
It was 5,000. So you took 5,000 from me. I felt it was like I went to Saudi Arabia to represent my club. Then you took 5,000 from my salary.
Crazy.
That
Crazy.
was how I felt.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, I shouldn't give up. Then I took a lawyer. And surprisingly, ITTF Tribunal also took $1,000. An organization that should be fighting for free for the players. I had to pay $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Okay.
So in the end, how much was this problem?
I lost $5,000 to them from the penalty, and 1,000 is ITTF.
So
But I was actually fulfilled. I was so happy that I challenged them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a corrupt system. It's a very bad system for the players. But I was very happy I was able to challenge them. It doesn't matter for me, I win or lose.
But
Yeah.
actually, for example, with WTT, I mean, for sure, every people has a very personal history with WTT. What's the thing with WTT that you don't like with them?
I think it's about the penalty.
Okay, the penalty, yes.
Before also, during the challenge series, challenge plus, major series or super series, we were not winning so much money, but we were not paying a lot to play.
True.
We have the chance to play very cheap, but now you have to pay a lot. It's very expensive.
Yes.
And even if you risk it, you started from the group, you go to semifinal, you are still at zero. You must have changed your flight ticket more than 2 or 3 times. You must have paid more night. It's still nothing, You are paying for nothing. You take the risk, but the risk really does not worth it in the end because you are at zero in the end.
Yes.
Correct.
And one question.
And I think this is the difference.
What's the ranking that you need to have that you will say that one player start to be positive in the money?
You will never be positive. If we really want to be serious, yes, you are laughing.
Yeah, but
I
it's
don't
true.
know if you saw their database last year based on the prize money.
Yes.
I won $65,000.
And how much did you spend?
$65,000. When you play in China, the tax is 20%.
Okay.
So, for example, you play in China, you lose in first round, it's $8,000. By the time they take out the 20%, probably your ticket is like 1,600 euros. Why?
Yes.
Because you don't know if you play on first day, second day, or third day. So you are not able to buy a cheap ticket, to come and go at once. So you have to buy ticket to go. And when you lose, you buy ticket again. So it's very expensive to buy the ticket.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
This is
So
true.
probably in the end, you have like 3,000 euros in your pockets. But
Okay.
don't forget, to be in champions, you have to reinvest the money. You have to play in contender, star contender. If you don't play, you will be out of the champions.
This is true. And
You understand?
Yes,
So
I
it's like you
understand.
win money, you pay tax, you reinvest. In the end, you are at zero.
Actually, nowadays, many top players that go out of the top 30 and they have to play one feeder to win the
Yes.
feeder and then go. And the thing is that you spend maybe 1,800 for one feeder and you get only $500 to try to go to
Yes.
the champions. I
You
think
know,
that's crazy.
how do you
Never,
really
never.
justify this situation?
Yeah.
You host a feeder. You said the hotel is 250 euros. The champion is 1,000. Then you are spending 1,800 euros to win $1,000 minus tax. Does that really make any sense? Is feeder not the same thing like challenge
Yes.
or challenge plus? Is it not the same thing?
Yes.
Don't forget, during the challenge, it was $5,000 for the
Yes.
winner.
Yes.
And challenge plus was $7,500.
Yes.
And you can pay accreditation if you want.
Yes.
And go to sleep in any kind of hotel that you want.
Correct.
So what is the difference now? Everything looks beautiful. But nobody's winning money. I don't know. Probably 2 years ago from Hugo Caterano, he won around 80 something thousand. When you take his own expenses from his coach, he was at zero. Go and ask him again.
Yes. He won 2
Nobody's winning
tournaments in
money.
a row and
Yes.
was zero.
He was at zero. So who is winning money? Then the system is wrong. It's not correct.
Yes.
It's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
So you can play all the champions. But of course, if you don't reinvest, you go out of the champions directly.
Yes, but actually, I'm so surprised that you lost this thing a couple of months ago. When before that they actually when Fan Zhendong and Malong and they stopped, then finally they changed the system. So that
they changed a little
it doesn't
bit.
make sense. Yeah,
A little
They
bit.
changed a little bit. There is a situation. I will not mention the player.
no problem.
So the player was almost sure that he was going to play in India in star contender. Then he put in his name in the entry. Then somehow his team were losing and he had to play. Somehow you were sure that you will go to playoff before you don't need to play this game. Then somehow the team started losing. So this guy canceled his name. Then he still had to pay $5,000. Why? $2,500 that he canceled because he's going to play during the same date as WTT event.
Mm-hmm.
So both of them is $5,000. So it means nothing changed. So what did they change now? It is almost nothing. Now it is only for the top players.
Okay.
You can cancel now 2 times champions.
Yeah.
You can cancel 2 times.
But what about the other players? Yeah.
What happened to the lower ranked players?
Yes, correct.
Are they able to pay 150 euros for accreditation and go to play? If you check now in FIDA, it is $350 for accreditation only.
Correct.
Indirectly, you are being forced to stay in the official hotel. Because why do you have to give $350 to them when it was just $150 before? So does anything change? Nothing changed. It is just manipulation of English against the players.
Yeah,
correct.
Yes, they are just putting like little bit white colors here, but in the end, everything is still the same.
Yes.
They say, okay, we give little bit more money, but in the end, the price of the hotel is higher. So finally, we still losing in every subject, not only
and
in the table.
every one of us will continue to lose if we really don't fight against them aggressively.
But actually, it's good that you mentioned that because today it's happened. This United table tennis player, and I was actually I didn't see it coming. And can you tell us a little bit about this? You were part of this.
I am not really allowed to speak on behalf of everyone.
Okay.
There is someone assigned to speak about the whole organization.
Okay.
Can you tell us who is that person? Maybe we can invite him in the podcast.
His name is George from Swiss. So I can actually give you his contact.
Yeah.
You can get all the kind of information from this guy.
Maybe we can invite him in the podcast and he can
But of course,
explain a little bit about it.
This is not only about the top players. It is for everyone, The top players started it, and many more players will be allowed to join. Probably players outside of 100, because almost everyone has one or two things
Yes,
to
correct,
change.
correct. And then if you cannot speak, of course, for the other players and the other people, what do you expect from this new organization?
Everyone wants to try to change something positively.
Okay.
To favor players, to favor all kind of players. But of course, this guy that I mentioned now, Georgie,
Yeah.
will be able to tell you everything.
Yes, we would like, to invite
And
him.
he's going to fight for the reasons, or
when you ask him, he will tell you everything.
Okay.
Yes, but it's good. You write me his name, and we will definitely like to have him
I
in the
will give you
podcast,
his phone number
because
and email.
this is
You
something
can
that
just ask him anything that you want. He's going to tell you.
Yeah, that is something actually very interesting for
Yeah,
sure, because
good
to have
information.
actually someone that's fighting for the players. But you think that what players should have a say to the decision within the rules in the tournament?
Of course, it is very important. We are the main actor. Without us, they will never exist. Without you and me, they will never exist. Imagine they said there is ITTF World Cup, everyone arrives and we say we are not playing. What will happen?
Yeah.
So we are the major actor, and we deserve to be treated better than this.
Correct. True, man. So, man, it was actually a very good podcast to what's happened. So, I think Marcos have a few quick, funny questions to ask you.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay. We speak already around 1 hour, so it's a lot, but
It's
very interesting.
Very interesting, really.
Subjects with your beginning of your career, Quadri, your first coach, your academy, World Cup, a lot of stuff. So just one question, and then I will make some fast questions about your life. But what's the three hardest moment of your career?
While playing in Bundesliga, I played in Bundesliga for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And in my last season, I was seriously injured, almost week in, week out. I felt really terrible.
Yes.
The other two, I really cannot complain,
Okay.
because you really will never be able to have it all like you want. But of course, playing in Bundesliga actually gave me some positive and a lot of very bad memories, because I was super injured while playing there. But of course, there are a lot of regrettable moments. But it's all about winning and losing and never quit. Keep working and working. That is all I can say.
Yeah, this is good message for all the young people who is listening. The truth is, everyone is losing every day. We are losing matches, losing money, losing this, but we try to keep going. As you say, you were injured.
Very important.
You continue. So this is very important. So let's go for the other questions. What's your favorite food?
Of course, the food from Nigeria.
It's too spicy.
Which one?
Amala and vegetable soup.
From
Nigeria.
your city.
Yes.
Vegetable soup. Is spicy or not spicy?
It's too spicy. We eat a lot of spicy in Nigeria.
Okay.
Look,
so you like spicy.
This guy Monde Meroto, when he used to cook in Argentina for me, it was too spicy. I went to toilet 30 minutes after. It was
yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Years ago, I watched a series. Let me say series.
Series?
It's called 24 Hours.
Okay.
From the beginning to the end, it was full of action. I like movies with action, like crime scene, shooting and fighting. And I really love that. So my favorite is the 24 Hours.
24 Hours. Okay. Maybe the last, if you can change or you can add some new rules, funny rules, something for table tennis, which rules can you change in the game? I mean,
in the game, I would just change rules that, the rules that will favor all kind of players, probably to play more cheaper, so that we can see a lot of talent getting involved in table tennis from every part of the world.
Amazing. And I think just maybe a message for the young generation.
It's very important to always believe in ourselves. It doesn't matter where we come from. If we really believe, we can actually succeed. It is very important to be disciplined, determined, and focus. Hard work always pays off. Sport is about moments. There will be negative and positive moments. But through the negative moment, if we never ever give up, our positive moment will definitely come. And it is very important that we invest in ourselves.
I'm taking this advice from me, my friend.
Thank you, man. It's amazing. It makes in advance because it's true. It's hard for everyone. Hard work payoffs. Sports is about moment and never give up. This is Quadri Aruna. Thank you a lot to be here to share your good moments, your hard moments.
Yes, man. It was really inspiring. Like I know you now for quite a while, and I actually learned a lot of stuff today. So very inspiring moment. So first of all, like thank you so much, to share this with us and to be part of the Spin City. Like it was really really amazing show. I hope that you had a good time, Aruna.
Thank you so much, Space City. Thank you, Ibra. Thank you so much, Marcos. I'm very happy and excited for the opportunity given to me to share my story today, and hopefully we will do again very soon. I
Man,
wish you guys
I would
love on your podcast.
Thank you very much. I would love that. I really would love that. Make sure to follow Aruna Quadri on all his social medias, and make sure to subscribe on Spin City Podcast on YouTube and wherever you follow this podcast, and follow us on all the social media, Spin City Podcast. See you in 2 weeks, guys.
Yeah, see you. Thank you very much.